All right, guys. So sorry about the delay, but thank you guys for jumping on to this call. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, and there's going to be some things that I'm going to run through and share with you guys this week. So what we have decided to do is we've decided to take this journey to the next level. How about that, right? So if you're ready to go, then you're in the right place. So, but before I do that, I wanted to make sure that you guys know how much of a rock star you guys are. And you may already know that. Of course you know that, right? We're all rock stars, right? So I wanted to, I pushed and pushed and pushed to make sure that you guys work to get paid a title. So for those of you guys that were able to do that, Chantel, for those of you guys that were able to do that, that was amazing. And I want to say kudos to you. But before I get started, I don't know, like, I've never met Deanna. Letty, you see me here and there. Never actually met you, but what up? So I'm Carrie B, and I am the director of Team Excuse Busters. And I am absolutely ready. You guys are here because, one, you're willing and vulnerable enough to say that, you know what, I don't know it all, but I know that with the right guidance and the right accountability, I can push myself and I can get there, right? So it might be a little scary. So welcome to the Accelerated Leadership for the Boss Babes, or Wax Boss Babes, whatever I called it. And here's the kicker. We know the rules, right? 8 parties, 2 recruits. But I got some good news, guys. I actually told you guys that we're going to do this month, March 1st through March 31st, but that's actually not true. What we're actually doing is, and if I could find it on this, my little cheat sheet I have here, sorry. The dates are going to be just a little bit different. So you might want to write this down. So a month will actually be February 27th through March 26th. So that means that those people that you recruited on the 27th and the 28th count, and your parties you turned in count, okay? Then the next month will be March 27th through April 24th. And then the next one will go from the 25th through May 20, I guess I didn't write the May one down. Through May 24th. And so what that means is that during those times, you're going to set a goal. So the very first thing you're going to do is in preparing is to make sure you have a goal. And make sure that you are prepared. So how do you prepare? So some of you guys have systems. Some of you guys are like, don't have a clue. You haven't even done any of that stuff yet. You're watching YouTube. You're watching other rock star leaders out there, and you are coming up with some things. But there's some basic systems that you've got to have in place in order to be as successful as we're going to be in this program. Okay, guys? Because we're all going to be on the stage for something. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be something. So to accelerate you, what it means is you got to apply a little more pressure than what we've been doing. So you're going to take that gas pedal and you're going to press it a little bit harder, because the more gas you give it, the further you go, the faster you go. And that's what we want to work on. So it's just like when you're pressing on the gas, you have to press harder to go faster. The other thing that's important in this training is accountability. So I'm not letting you off the hook, okay? You will, the goal is 8 parties, and you might be sitting there going, Carrie, you're out your mind. This is where we get creative. This is where we dig deep and we say, you know what? I've done this. I came out the gate a rock star, and I'm going to continue being a rock star. So we're not going to look at these challenges and these goals as, oh my God, I can't do it. Because remember, when you tell your mind you can't do something, guess what? You can't do it. But when you tell your mind you can do something, you can do something. So I'm going to share my screen so I can just a little bit tell you guys what I'm doing. So like I said, week 1 is the accelerated leadership. It's prepare. And there's 5 fundamentals in this segment that we'll go through. So we'll have prepare. We're going to discover, coach, connect, replicate, and influence. And you may have heard some of these at leadership, but it's key that we keep that in place. So tell me, I bet you're excited. You might even have a little bit of adrenaline rush. You might even have that feeling like when you're on a roller coaster and you get to the very top of the roller coaster. You know how you're going, and it's click, 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 and the click gets slower, click, 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 and you know you're at the top, and you know that fall is about to come. Well, that may be the feeling you have maybe when you go talk to people or you prepare for something like this. That's okay, because guess what? You showed up, so that lets me know that you're ready to accelerate, and we can do this, guys. And yeah, it's going to be different. So I talked about the 5 fundamentals. So here's the thing, that just something that I want you guys to just know, that preparation is not luck. Luck favors the prepared. You know, I don't really believe in luck, but I know that when you are prepared, you can conquer anything. So right now you may feel unprepared. And as a new consultant, you may feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not really sure about this, but that's okay. We want to keep going. We know we can do this. So how do we get our systems in place? How do we become prepared? One of the things that we want to do is, our very, very first system is your calendar or your notebook. You hear me talk about it all the time. You guys, if you don't have a calendar where you're noting your family events and things, and then when you can party, then you most likely are going to struggle, and you're not going to be able to be as successful as you want to be on this, because you don't have a clue where you're going. You're kind of all over the place. So please get some form of a calendar and write down what it is you're trying to do. You can simply write down your PRV goal. But remember, we're going for 8 parties. And I promise you, if you do an average of $200 per party, which your averages are way more than that, but if you did just the minimum that a party could be of $200, that's $1,600 in sales when you do 8 parties. Plus, you know you got customers that are going to call you and want things. So getting $2,000 sales is not our focus. Our focus is putting ourselves in front of enough people to give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful. So focus on the 8 parties, and from that, you're going to grow to have 2 recruits, okay? And again, when you prepare and you take the time to build the tools, then you're going to feel ready. The people that you sponsor are going to feel ready and supported, and you're going to have success because your customers are going to love what you're doing, and they're going to want to come back and stick with you. So here's something that kind of like a oh my gosh moment. Sometimes, especially for those of us that have been around for a while, we may have to step back and retrain ourselves on some of the basic things because we've kind of been out of the game for a while. So here's a book, an author that I've shared before. It's Mary Christensen, and I'm going to put it really close so you guys can see how to spell her name. It's Christensen, Christensen. And this is a great book. It's Be a Recruiting Superstar. This is something that I've tabbed up, I've written in. It's just a great way to get back and just kind of understand. If you're not a recruiter or you don't believe you got great recruiting skills, here's this. If you don't want to spend money on a book, there's all kind of training on the workstation, and there's also YouTubes out there. But identify. So I love that you guys shared what your weaknesses were, and you shared what your strengths were. And I'm going to go and check out some of them real quick because I said I was going to talk about that. So for those of you guys who left your comments, thank you. And for those of you who haven't done that on the page, please go introduce yourself. I like the one where it says, I feel like I'm bugging people. You guys, we've got to refocus and look at ourselves and remember we have a consumable product that people love, that people want to use. And all we're doing is reminding them that they need our product. Hey, it's been a few months. I want to check in and see if you're ready to restock. But again, it's your mind. So if you're telling your mind I'm bugging them, then that's what you're doing. You've got to change your mind. Another one is my weakness is doing the same for myself. Like what I pour into people, am I doing that for myself? Another one is the biggest challenge is procrastination. I can do a lot of time of nothingness. This one spoke to my soul. You guys, do not be on Facebook getting sucked in. I want you to look at your Facebook pages, and if you're in 1,000 groups, you need to get out of some of them because they're not putting money. They're not income-producing activities that are putting money into your pocket. So your systems that you want to start with are your calendar or your notepad, some way that you can, track things. You want to figure out whatever you do today, if I do it with one person or 100 team members or 1,000, I can still do it. Think about your budget. think about what you're doing. So if you're mailing samples out, am I going to be willing to mail out 100 samples to people as I grow my customer base and things like that? Think about the things that you're doing today. How can you continue to do them? So the other thing about being prepared is putting just some types of systems in place. And so on your screen, hopefully you guys can see this. This is what we call scalable systems. And we've talked about this before. Scalable systems help you, and this is just an example. You don't have to do this, but this is an example of, I'm so sorry, my printer is printing. This is an example of a scalable system that you can use for team members. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on here. And you have your Monday is your host day, Tuesday is your customer day, Wednesday and Thursday are your team, like your existing teams, and then Friday you work with your potentials. So what does this mean? So what this means is on Mondays, you're going to follow up with your host. So maybe you had parties on Saturday and you booked some more parties. And so you would use this on Mondays is when you're going to reach out to them. On Tuesdays is when you're going to follow up with customers. Maybe do, that's a massive follow-up day. And then on Wednesday, as you have 1, 2, or 3 team members, you could say, okay, on the first Wednesday of the month, I'm going to talk to team member number 1. On the first Thursday, I'm going to talk to team member number 2. And on the second Wednesday, team member number 3. And on the second Thursday, 4, and so on and so forth. Now, as your team grows and you get 50 and 60 and 70 people, or even 25, 50, 60, 70 people on your team, that may look like on Wednesdays I'm going to email my entire group, and on Thursdays I'm going to focus on my front line. I'm going to send a mass email and invite anybody that wants to have a one-on-one session with me or something like that. So this gets you the idea. This is the way you can kind of plan out your day and look and see. And I believe, and Chantel can tell me, I think she has used them before, on our page under the Team Excuse Buster page, so I'll need to move it over to this group. We have some scalable systems that we've been using for a while. And I kind of like these because you can kind of cut them down. So can you guys see this? So this is one where I have, I don't even know what I have. So the very first thing I have here are my goals. See right here? So I have payday and goals. I have my PRV, how many recruits, my sales, how many parties, my active frontline, and such. And then on Monday for customer day, here are some of the things that I have down. Focus 30 minutes on recruiting conversations. Focus 30 minutes on follow-up with customers and possible hosts. Add new customers to my VIP group. Create my special and do my mailings for my VIP. So this is what I would do week 1 on Monday. Track daily numbers. On day 2 for team day, I might do, again, focus 30 minutes on recruiting conversations, focus 30 minutes on follow-up, because that's going to be something I choose to do every day. Do a daily team page, action post, create 5 recruiting folders, post on my team page, connect with 5 of my frontline, something like that. And then I have a street day, and that's like where I can go, I'm going out running, doing mail, I'm cleaning up my office, I might go to visit an office and hand out samples and things of that nature. And then here are some of the other categories that you can have. Host, recruit, business day, party day, party day. So these are things that we can put in the thing. So why is this important? Because now when you pick this up and Mondays is my team day, you know exactly what you need to do. And these are all editable, so you can make them be whatever works for you. So that's what's called a scalable system. It's something that you pre-plan that you're going to do daily to work your business, because we know we need to be working on our business daily, right? So that's what a scalable system looks like. I want to go to, I think these are out of order. Oh, sorry. I don't know how I stopped sharing, but I'm going to talk about being intentional. So one of the things at the end of this course, you will feel more empowered. You're going to feel more empowered because you're going to have new skills that are going to help you, grow and do things that you never would. So, but there's a few things that we're going to have to change about ourselves. So maybe, guys, you don't spend time in your business daily. Maybe you don't do that. That's something you're going to have to change. Maybe you don't use a calendar and you don't track things. You kind of just run by the seat of your pants. That's not going to help you, because if you don't write down what it is you're doing in your plan, then next month, or maybe in the middle of the month when we say, hey, you know what, you look like you're a little bit off track here. How are we going to get you back on track if you haven't been tracking what you're doing. So figure out who you are at your core, and are you going to use a calendar, or are you going to use a notebook? What is it that you're going to do? And you're going to, so if you're using a notebook, you're just going to put the date down, and then you're going to put down what it is you're going to do. And you want to do that. But you have to now say, you know what? So for example, last month you guys pushed and pushed and pushed to get paid a title. Can I get a whoop, right? Those specials really helped out. So you did what it takes. You did the extra things to get it done. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to figure out what are you willing to dig deep and do to make your business. No more excuses. You can't sit here and say that I'm not going to do this because it's too hard or life happened. No, this is when you're going to dig deep and you're going to say, I'm doing this for my life changing. So being intentional is one of the things. Preparing for the results that you want to see. So if you want to see $600 to $800 in your checking account on your pay card, then you got to do the things that are going to get you there. And that is day one today. You guys should have goals written down. You should be figuring out how you're going to get your 8 parties. I was talking with someone earlier, and they're going to get their 8 parties. They've got a couple parties, and they're going to do some of those. You guys may have heard of this, where you get 8 customers or 8 people to collect 6 6-packs, right? Okay. 8 customers to collect 6 6-packs. And it looks like I have this little sheet. Oh, I had this little sheet, but it's like a little square. Chantel, do you have one right by you? I was trying to clean up for you guys, and I guess I took it out my bag. But all it is it's got a square. It's a square, and you write down the host. You give it to the host. I'll post it on the page. You give it to the host, and here it is. And you it looks like this. See? So it says, get 8 friends to buy 6 Scentsy bars, and you get any Scentsy warmer for half price and a 6-pack of bars for $61. So you're going to say, you write down their name, their phone number, and how many bars. And all she needs to do is fill in all 8 of these squares. And when she does that, she has a $240 party. Okay? So, yes, you can have parties yourself. There's all kind of things you can do to get your parties, but I just want you to get partying, right? So remember, we're not going to say because I have a busy schedule and I work here and I drive it. No, we're going to make this happen, and we're going to do it together, okay? So think about when you first started, you kind of fell out of whack, right? You're like, oh my gosh, you're doing it afraid. You don't even know why you're doing some of the stuff you're doing. You're just doing it. If you're using a notebook, one of the things you can write on there is PATD, which stands for prospecting, appointing, training, and developing. And appointing actually is sponsoring, so it could be PSTD. That sounds kind of bad, don't it? PSTD. You want to know who you're prospecting after. Create that. Create your chicken list. If you guys haven't, if you don't have the book, Get Over Your Damn Self, you need to get that book. Get Over Your Damn Self. That's what it's called. You want to know who you're prospecting. If you don't have a list of people that you've thought about joining you on this journey, you're doing yourself a disservice. Create a list of potential people that should continually be growing. Create a list of people that need to that want to host parties. Create a list of people that are going to just be your great customers and support you. So you want to make sure that you're doing the things that prepare you for this awesome thing. So the more you know, the more prepared you are. So the more you know about you, you know that, you know what, I'm so afraid to do this that I avoid it. Well, I want you to write that down. You know what, I hate following up because I feel like I'm bugging people. Write that down, and then write 10 names and call them. And then ask yourself, did I die? Did I pass out? You know what I mean? I was able to do that. Figure out how you're going to push through and get those. There go the baby. How you're going to get these things done, and never give up and never give in on that. So another thing, you guys, you need to know your products. If you don't know your products, take a catalog with you, and once on one break a day for a week, read through your catalog, especially since we have a brand new catalog. Go through it and make sure you know what we're offering, what a bundle and save is. You know, what's the charitable products this month? What can be in a combine and save, and what can't be? You know your catalog. That's oh my gosh, that's so huge. That's preparing So identify what systems you need and what's working for you. Be prepared, and then we're just going to reinforce, because you guys are already rock stars. You're already doing things. I'm just asking you to tighten it up and make sure that whatever you're doing, you can do it, whether you have 1 person, 100 person, 1,000 person team members on your team. That's something you want to make sure. And if you're not going onto your workstation and reading your news tab and those types of things, if you're not posting on the pages, I mean, this stuff is engaging. You have to be engaged, because if you're not posting on our page, you surely are not posting on your VIP page if you have one, or customer page, right? So before I continue on or anything, I want to ask, does anybody have any questions? You can just unmute yourself. Or raise your hand and I'll unmute you if you can't figure it out, because I know this is wacky today. Any questions? Okay, then I'll ask another question. Who wants to unmute themselves, or I'll just unmute you and you can start telling me your goals, or, you know, things like that. Like, what is it about is there any concerns about the eight parties? Is there any concerns about getting the 2 recruits? What are your challenges? What are your fears? What are you concerned about? Because it's going to come out, and I'd rather us talk about it now, because somebody else probably has the same challenge or fear. Who's going to be brave and ask? Go ahead, Chantel.
Okay, so just to clarify and just to make sure, it's only new recruits for the 2 recruits, not anybody that's returning or coming back.
Correct. No
even if they're new to your team, like
they could never have been in Cincy before.
Okay.
So no reinstates, no whatever it's called, none of that. New. That's a great question. Who else? You're just like thinking. Letty, I see you thinking. No?
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question. Instead of 8 parties, can we do like a few of those and just get our party? Because I don't normally close a party out unless it's at least 400. So not that I want to short myself and do less parties, but is that still okay if it's a few less than that, as long as our PRV is still up pretty good?
No, that's not the idea. So let me explain. That's a great question. Let me explain why that won't work. Because today you're already doing that, right? You're already hitting 2,000 or whatever, you know, $1,500, $2,000 in sales. This idea is to accelerate. This is because if we're not partying, so for instance, for me, I can get what do you call it? $2,000 in sales without holding a party. So this is to push me to get in front of people, to do events, to do Facebook parties, whatever it is I can do, so I can push myself to go into new areas, because I'm staying in my comfort zone with the people that I follow up to then rotate. So no, now what you can do is you could take the party, and I mean, because I can't control this, and you could put in you could take, like, say you did a party and it was $600, you can put that in as $200-$300 parties. I'm not going to know the difference. I can't even tell. I only see an accumulative number. I can't tell how many parties you're in. I'm holding you accountable. We know that your PRV will be anywhere between $1,600 and $2,000 a month when you do the 8 parties. So that's the only way I'm going to be able to track it. So however you work it in your mind, but the idea is to stretch you. That's what we're trying to do, is accelerate and stretch you. We're not going to kick you out if you don't do it, but at the same time, I'm probably going to show some tough love if I see you having this consistency where, you know, because see, $500 kind of goes out the door now, right? Because we're not focused on getting 500. We're not. I'm not saying I'm not going to still put that out there for the group, but we're focused on getting our 8 parties in and getting our 2 recruits. And that's going to result in where we want to be anyway. But for us that are already doing, you know, say $1,000 to $1,800 already without this, I expect you just to continue to do even more. You know what I'm saying? Because if we start slicing and dicing now, then we're putting ourselves in a box and we're saying, I just got to get 8 parties. No, this is 8 parties. And then all those follow-ups orders that you get and all the things you get from follow-up, that's your normal base. You know what I'm saying? We're stretching beyond that. That's how I'm
that was my fixed mindset that I just showed everybody. So I'm going to work on that, because I want to grow my mindset.
Yep. And I had to think about it too, because I said, first thing I thought was, oh, I'll just, you know, do what I normally do and just put them in as 8 parties. You know what I mean? But then I don't grow. I'm still getting the same results. We're going to grow. We're going up. So we're doing things that we normally don't do. What? Okay. So what else? What other questions? We have about, okay. So here's the deal. I switched down to Zoom, and I probably shouldn't have downgraded it, but I did. So that's why I was trying to start exactly on time. Because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over to Facebook Live after this on our page, on the Accelerated, and continue asking any questions. But are there any other major things? Because I have a couple of tips I want to share with you guys. No other questions? So here's how it's going to work to get onto the next, it says my internet is janky. Here's how it works to get onto the next Zoom. Oh, you didn't think you just got a free ticket in, did you? So you're going to get a Google Doc, and I'll post the link on the page. And the Google Doc, you will complete it, and it's basically what have you been doing. And as I receive the Google Doc, so we'll have another one of these calls in 2 weeks. When I get your Google Doc back, then you'll get the link for the next call. Okay, it's accountability, y'all. Because the thing of it is that if you're not willing to do these little things, that means you're not going to do the things when no one's looking so that you can be successful. So remember what I always say, you guys, who are your legs? Oh, those aren't legs. Well, anyway, you want me to show you my legs? Who are your legs and your arms when life is happening? So where can you go to other businesses, people that work in different companies, friends that live in different states? Think outside your box. This is your comfort zone. We're going outside of that. We're getting bold when we're at the restaurant and we're saying, hey, you look like somebody that would love amazing smells or amazing fragrances. Here's a sample for you. You know what? And then you go step back down and there's a little note on there that says, if you love this, I have an even better sample. Once you fill out this door price slip and bring it back to me. You get bold and you start going, because now you're looking at this and you're saying, no, I will earn that trip. I will get the down payment money. I will have that furniture when I move into my new house. I will be able to take care of my children and do the things that I want to do. You're going to be able to say yes to those things because we're not accepting minimum. So you got to be on the page. So if you haven't introduced yourself on the Wax Boss Accelerated Leadership page, please go do that. And you need to check that page because I'm going to be posting things on there and tips and things to help you. You're on here because you are a rock star. Now, I have to ask a question. Nedia's phone, is that Carrie? Is that you, Carrie?
That is my friend. I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was for us at first.
That's okay.
And I was like, I invited her. She's my new recruit. I was like, oops. So that's who Nidia is.
We'll help her. Well, hi, Nidia. Oh, that's the new recruit. Hey. Okay.
Yeah, that's my new recruit from last night. I was like, oh, okay, get on here and listen. I didn't realize. Whoops.
That's okay. So this is for the Accelerate, but you'll know the training she's going through to make sure that you have everything you need. So same things still apply. You gotta, if you don't have a goal, you signed up, you got 15 days to go and get rocking. So you guys in your mind, think of every month as your shooting star, your first 15 days. What am I doing to make sure I'm rocking my business? That's what you need to be doing. No more minimums. How many of you guys walked out the door today with no spring and summer? Nothing in your hand. Like I left 15 minutes late to make sure I had product lists and catalogs and things. See, can't do that, guys. You gotta be prepared. It's gonna happen. You've gotta have the things you need to be successful and share. So Amy, Tequila, I know, what's her name? Teresa's working in an event right now, so she's getting a pass. Be prepared, okay? So I appreciate you guys getting on this call. I'm going to go on over to Facebook Live. This thing's going to download and record on our Accelerated. So I'm going over there because I want you guys to follow me that haven't updated your thing and said hello. And then we need to just decide. Anybody that's not here tonight, we just need to decide. Maybe this isn't going to work for them. If you guys aren't on Marco Polo, the group is strictly us 10 people that are in this little thing. It's just to inspire you guys. I'm just there to try to get you riled up and remind you that you can do this. But the thing you're going to hear me say over and over again, well, were you prepared? Were you prepared for today? How many opportunities walked away? How many opportunities you missed out on because you didn't have samples made or you didn't have anything to share, or because you decided today, I'm just not going to do anything. We're not in the I'm not going to do anything mode, y'all. We got to be building. And so it's 3 months of massive action. And this is a key thing I want to leave you guys with. What you do in the next 3 months when you're in this program are going to affect you for the next 2 years. So what you do or don't do. But what you do in the massive action you take will show up in 90 days in your business. Bet. If you plant the seeds now, you do the work, you meet your paid title, in 90 days, you're going to see just things like blowing up like that because we're going to be consistent. We're going to hold each other accountable. So I'm not the only one on the page saying, hey, Ashley, I haven't seen you on the page yet. Where you at? Tagging Ashley. Ashley's going to tag people and say, hey guys, where y'all at? You know, what are y'all doing? What's going on with you? We're going to rally each other and get through this and make this happen. So I don't know about you guys, but I am so fired up for this. I am so ready for Team Excuse Busters, Girls Gone Wild. See, I didn't say Girls Gone Wickless, and Southern Teas for us to go buck wild crazy and do this. Let's just own California. What you say? Y'all look sleepy. All right, guys, I'm going to end this, and I'm going to go over to the Facebook Live, okay? Talk to y'all later. Thanks for getting on. I'm going to stop the recording.
Bye, guys.